Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Doki Literature Club. I'm the Speletons. I'm the plural Speletons. Um, I'm continuing my playthrough. It's a new session, so I guess when I left off, Yuri was rambling, or wasn't she? Um, so I guess we'll just hop right back into this with the the only three girls that have ever been in this club. I'm rambling, aren't I? Not again. I'm sorry. Hey, don't apologize. I haven't lost interest or anything. Well, I guess it's alright then. But I feel like I should let you know that I have this problem. When I let things like books and writing fill my thoughts, my whole body, I kind of forget to pay attention to other people. Uh, huh. I kind of want to know what she just said. Well, we'll just let's load the save real quick. Let's just flip through this. I want to try it one more time. I really want to know what that said. Can I? Okay. Hang on. I was just testing it. Let's see. Let's Alright, we got it. So you can look at that later. Can we look at it now? Oh. Sorry, we'll look at it later, I guess. So, I'm sorry if I end up saying something strange. And please stop me if I start talking too much. I really don't think you need to worry. That just means you're passionate about reading. The least I can do is listen. It's a literature club after all. That's true. In fact, I might as well get started reading it, right? Yeah. Yes. I mean, you don't have to, but what are you saying? Ellipses. Let me just get the book. I quickly retrieved the book that I put in my bag. Alright, it's fine if I sit here, right? I slip into the seat next to Yuri's. Yeah. Are you sure? You seem a little apprehensive. I'm sorry. It's not that I don't want you to. It's just something I'm not very used to. That is, reading in company with someone. I see. Well, just tell me if I end up distracting you or anything. Alright. I open the book and start the prologue. I soon understand what Yuri means about reading in company. It's as if I can feel her presence over my shoulder as I read. It's not a particularly bad thing. Maybe a little distracting, but the feeling is somewhat comforting. Yuri is in the corner of my eye. I realize that she's not actually looking at her own book. I glance over. It looks like she's reading from my book instead. Sorry. I was just bathing in the feeling of your body heat. Yeah, well, we're not going to do that every time. I guess we're not going to stop and read every time. Also, my dog's barking. Hopefully, you can't hear that. You really do. Yuri, you really apologize a lot, don't you? I do? I don't really mean to. Sorry. I mean... Here, this should work, right? I slide my desk until it's up against Yuri's, then hold my book more between the two of them. I suppose so. Yuri timidly closes her own copy. Once we lean in a little bit, our shoulders are almost touching. How lewd. It feels like my left arm is in the way, so instead I use my right hand to hold the book open. I guess that makes it kind of difficult to turn the page. Here. Yuri takes her left arm and holds the left side of the book between her thumb and forefinger. I do the same with my right arm on the right side of the book. That way, I turn a page. Yuri slides under his thumb after I turn a page. That way, you get it. She would turn fucking pages. But in holding it like this, we're huddled even closer together than before. It's actually kind of distracting me. It's as if I can feel the warmth of Yuri's face, and she's in the corner of my vision. Are you ready? Eh? To turn the page. Ah, sorry. I think I got a bit distracted for a second. I glance over at Yuri's face again, and our eyes meet. I don't know how I'll be able to keep up with her. Ah, that's okay. You're not as used to reading, right? I don't mind being patient if it takes you a little longer. It's probably the least I can do, since you've been so patient with me. Yeah, thanks. We continue reading. Excuse me for a second. Just gotta reorient myself in my chair. Yuri no longer asks me if I'm ready to turn the page. Yawning. Instead, I just assume that she finishes the page before me, so I turn it by my own volition. We continue the first chapter in silence. Even so, turning the page almost feels like an intimate exchange. My thumb gently letting go of the page, letting it flutter over to her side as she catches it under her own thumb. Hey, Yuri. This might be a silly thought, but the main character kind of reminds me of you a little bit. Eh? No, I don't relate to this character at all. Definitely not. Really? I was just thinking of the way she second guesses things she says and all that. That's what you were talking about. Sorry. I thought you meant something else about her. Something else? Never mind. We didn't even get that far yet, so I don't know why that came into my head. Yuri, are you feeling alright? Eh? Yuri's been a little fidgety ever since we started reading. You can rest if you're feeling sick or something. Your breathing is a little... My breathing? Yuri puts her hands on her chest, as if to feel her heartbeat. I didn't even notice. Anyway, I'm fine. I just need some water. Alright, don't push yourself. Yuri stands up and practically rushes out of the classroom. What on earth was all that about? Derek? Sorry. Derek! Did something happen just now? Eh? I have no idea. Yuri was just acting a little strange, I guess. So, you don't know anything? Sorry, I can't say I do. Are you worried about her? Oh no! Oh, no, not really. You know, I think things are about to get a little weird here. I was just making sure that you didn't do anything to her. No, nothing. Don't worry, I believe you, silly. Yuri just does this sometimes. It's nothing alarming. Alright, if you say so. Anyway, why don't we start sharing our poems with each other? Huh? Shouldn't we wait for Yuri? Well, she might be a while, so I just figured we get started without her. Is that okay? Yeah, I was just asking. I stand up. I make a mental note of where I left off in the book and slip it back into my bag. Hey Natsuki, what's up? I told Natsuki I was interested in her poems yesterday. It's probably only fair that if I shared mine with her first. Ellipses. Ellipses? What? Oh. What? Okay. Derek, if you're not going to take this club seriously, then go home. What? Harsh. What, you expect me to believe that you actually put effort into this? Do you think I'm stupid? I'm not a writer. Maybe it's not very good, but yeah, I did put in effort. We all start somewhere, right? If you're still proud of the first poem you ever wrote, if you're still proud of the first poem you ever wrote, then I'd like to read it. Exclamations! Painful to think about? Ellipses. Fine. Well, sorry. You'll get better anyway. I'd tell you what to improve, but you're better off just trying again. Fair enough. Well, to each their own, I guess. Anyway, I guess I gotta share mine now. Knowing you, you'll probably think it's stupid. Eagles can fly. Monkeys can climb, crickets can leap, horses can race, owls can seek, cheetahs can run, eagles can fly, people can try, but that's about it. Yeah, I told you that you weren't gonna like it. I like it. What? Just be honest. I am. Why are you so convinced that I wouldn't... I'm sorry. Why are you so convinced I wouldn't like it? Well, because everyone in high school thinks that writing has to be all sophisticated and stuff. So people don't even take my writing seriously. But isn't the point of poems for people to express themselves? Your writing style wouldn't make your messages any less valid. Yes, exactly. Yes, exactly. I like it when it's easy to read, but it hits you hard. I might be quieter. I'm leaning back in my chair. Sorry, it's 10:30 a.m. I had to get up super early today to go to work and find out I wasn't actually working. So it's been a day. Play Pokemon Go for like an hour afterwards, just to make the trip feel worthwhile. But anyways, like in this poem, seeing everyone around you do great things can be really disheartening. So I decided to write about it. Yeah, I understand. But the other nice thing about simple writing is it puts more weight on the wordplay. Like I set up for a rhyme at the end, but then I made it fall flat on purpose. It helps bring out the feeling in the last line. So you did. I guess more went into it than I realized. That's what it means to be a pro. I'm glad you learned something. Didn't expect that from the youngest one here, did ya? Yeah, I guess not. I decided to humor her with that last comment. I don't really care how old everyone is, but if Natsuki is feeling proud, then I won't take that away from her. Just Monica's left. Show my poem though. I hope her eyes don't explode. Hi, Derek! Having a good time so far? Yeah. Good. Glad to hear it. You know, I don't think Monica's had any weird stuff happen to her. By the way, since you're new and everything, if you ever have any suggestions for the club, like new activities or things we can do better, I'm always listening. Don't be afraid to bring things up, okay? Alright, I'll keep that in mind. Of course I'll be afraid to bring things up. I'm much better off just going with the flow until I'm more settled in. Anyway, want to share your poem with me? It's kind of embarrassing, but I guess I have to. Don't worry, Derek. We're all a little embarrassed today, you know? But that's the sort of barrier we'll all learn to get past soon. Yeah, that's true. I hand Monica my poem. Great job, Derek. I was going ooh in my head while reading it. It's really metaphorical. I'm not sure why, but I didn't expect you to go for something so deep. I guess I underestimated you. It's easiest for me to keep everyone's expectations low. That way it always counts when I put in some effort. That's not very fair. Well, I guess it worked anyway. You know that Yuri likes this kind of writing, right? Writing that's full of imagery and symbolism. Sometimes I feel like Yuri's mind is totally detached from reality. I don't mean that like it's a bad thing though, but sometimes I get the impression she's totally given up on people. She spends so much time in her own head that it's probably a much more interesting place for her. But that's why she gets so happy when you treat her with a lot of kindness. I don't think she's used to being indulged like that. She must be really starved for social interaction, so don't blame her for coming on a little strongly. Like earlier. I think if she gets too stimulated, she ends up withdrawing and looking for alone time. Suddenly, the door opens. Yuri! I'm back. Did I miss anything? Not really. Well, we all started sharing our poems with each other. Already? I'm sorry for being late. No need to apologize. We still have plenty of time, so I'm more than glad you took all the time you needed. Alright. Thanks, Monica. I suppose I should go get my poem now. Anyway, do you want to read my poem now? Don't worry, I'm not very good. You sound pretty confident for someone who claims to not be very good. Well, that's because I have to sound confident. That doesn't mean I always feel that way, you know? I see. Well, let's read it then. Okay, I think this is this new? I don't know. I don't remember. Hole in the wall. But he wasn't looking at me. Confused, I frantically glanced at my surroundings, but my burned eyes can no longer see color. Are there others in this room? Are they talking? Or are they simply poems on flat sheets of paper? The sound of frantic scrawling playing tricks on my ears. The room begins to crinkle, closing in on me. The air I breathe dissipates before it reaches my lungs. I panic. There must be a way up. It's right here. He's right here. Swallowing my fears, I brandish my pen. I'm very concerned what's going to happen when I click away, because this seems related to what's been happening here. I'm very concerned when I click away from this that it's just going to be like a freak, or like all like distorty or like doing something horrible. Okay, it wasn't. I don't like where this game's going, and it's spooky. And my dogs are barking more. So what do you think? It's very freeform, if that's what you call it. Sorry, I'm not really the right person to ask for feedback. It's okay. Yeah, that kind of style has gotten pretty popular nowadays. My dogs are barking. I never set a timer. Alright, well, that's fine. I guess we'll just kind of... We'll just, like, get through this day. That is, a lot of poems have been putting emphasis on the timings between words and lines. Literally every time I talk, they start. Stop, dogs, please. That is, a lot of poems have been putting emphasis on the timing between words and lines. When performed out loud, it could be really powerful. What was the inspiration behind this one? Well, I'm not sure if I know how to put it. I guess you could say I had some kind of epiphany recently. That it's been influencing my poems a bit. An epiphany? Yeah, something like that. I'm kind of nervous to talk about deep stuff like that because it's kind of coming on strongly. Maybe after everyone is better friends with each other. Anyway, here's Monica's writing tip of the day. Sometimes when you're writing a poem or story, your brain gets too fixated on a specific point. If you try so hard to make it perfect, you'll never make any progress. Just force yourself to do something, to get something down on the paper and tidy it up later. Another way to think about it is this. If you keep your pen in the same spot for too long, you just get a big dark puddle of ink. So just move your hand and go with the flow. That's my advice for today. Thanks for listening. Alright, Yuri, here we come. Ellipses. As Yuri reads the poem, I notice her eyes lighten. Exceptional. What was that? Ellipses? Did I say that out loud? Yuri first covers her mouth, but then ends up covering her whole face. He's going to hate me. You really didn't do anything wrong, Yuri. I guess you're right. What am I getting so nervous for? Yuri takes a deep breath. So, what kind of writing experience do you have? Your use of imagery and metaphors indicate you've written a lot of poetry before. Really? Wow, that's a huge compliment coming from you. This is actually my first time, really. Huh? Yuri stares at me blankly, then looks at my poem again. Ellipses. Well, I know that. I just meant, Yuri trails off, unable to find an excuse. She traces her finger along the words in the poem, as if breaking it down more thoroughly. Yeah, okay. This is the reason I was able to tell. It's just that there are specific writing habits that are usually typical of new writers. And having been through that myself, I kind of learned to pick up on them. I think the most noticeable thing I recognize in new writers is that they try to make their style very deliberate. In other words, they tend to pick a writing style separate from the topic matter, and they form fit the two together. The end result is that both the style and expressiveness are weakened. Once Yuri finishes her train of thought, it's as if her demeanor totally changes. Her stammering is completely gone, and she sounds like an expert. Of course, that's not something you can be blamed for. There are so many different styles and techniques that go into writing a simple poem. Not just finding them and building them, but getting them to work together is probably the most challenging part. It might take you some time, but it all comes with practice and learning by example and trying new things. I also hope that everyone else in the club gives you valuable feedback. Natsuki can be a bit biased though. Biased? How? Well, never mind. I shouldn't be talking about people like that. Sorry. It's fine. I don't know. I'm not sure if Yuri is apologizing to me, to herself, me, or Natsuki. Mind if I read your poem now? Please do. I'd love to share my thought process behind it. Yuri smiles dreamily as if that's a rare opportunity for her, which itself is kind of funny. After all, isn't this supposed to be a literature club? Ghost under the light. The tendrils of my hair illuminate beneath the amber glow, bathing. It must be this one. The last remaining streetlight to have withstood the test of time. The last yet to be replaced by the sickening blue hue of the future. I bathe, calm, breathing air of the present but living in the past. The light flickers. I flicker back. Ellipses. I'm sorry if I have such terrible handwriting. What? Oops. Oh, I just right-clicked. I thought I skipped something or did something weird. I wasn't thinking that at all. But it took you a long time to read. Well, I just don't read script very often. I actually think your handwriting is pretty. That's a relief. I also like the poem. Even though it's short, it was really descriptive. It wasn't too short. I usually write longer poems. Not at all. I'm really glad you like it. I'll be honest. Since it's our first time sharing, I wanted to write something a little more mild. Something easy to digest, I suppose. Are you into ghosts, Yuri? Huh? Hugh. I don't know. I think I had this problem before. I don't know what that's supposed to be. Actually, the story isn't about ghosts. It's about a ghost at all, Derek. Really? I must have totally missed the point. Well, I suppose you did only glance over it after all. But remember that poets often express their own thoughts, feelings, and experiences in their work. They usually do more than tell a simple story or paint a picture. Oh, I just clicked off the screen. That's why nothing happened. In this case, perhaps the subject of the poem is only being symbolically compared to a ghost. Sorry, I'm yawning. Lingering in her last remaining place of comfort, unable to let go of the past, and soon to be left with nothing. That's a lot more solemn, putting it that way. I hadn't even thought of that. That's impressive. It's nothing, really. Yours was impressive too, so... Nah. If anything, I could probably learn a thing or two from you. You think so? Yeah, of course. You know, I was really nervous about doing all this, but in the end I enjoyed it. I'm going to keep doing my best for you, Derek. Me too. Phew. I guess that's everyone. I glance around the room. That was a little more stressful than I anticipated. It's as if everyone is judging me for my mediocre writing abilities. That was a little off. That music was off. I think. I don't know. Music sounded off for a bit. Even if they're just being nice, there's no way my poems can stand up to theirs. This is a literature club after all. I sigh. I guess that's what I ended up getting myself into. Across the room, Monica is writing something in her notebook. My eyes land on Yuri and Natsuki. They gingerly exchange sheets of paper, sharing their respective poems. As they read in tandem, I watch each of their expressions change. Natsuki's eyebrows furrow in frustration. Meanwhile, Yuri smiles sadly. What's with this language? Did you say something? Oh, it's nothing. Natsuki dismissively returns the poem to the desk with one hand. I guess the one hand is probably for the Japanese version, because that's probably just a bit disrespectful. I guess you could say it's fancy. Thanks. Yours is cute. Cute? Did you completely miss the symbolism or something? It's clearly about the feeling of giving up. How can that be cute? I know that. I just meant the language, I guess. I was trying to say something nice. Eh? You mean you have to try that hard to come up with something nice to say? Thanks, but it didn't really come out nice at all. Well, I do have a couple suggestions. If I was looking for suggestions, I would have asked someone who actually liked it. Which people did, by the way. Monica liked it, and Derek did too. So based on that, I'll gladly give you some suggestions of my own. First of all, excuse me, I appreciate the offer, but I've spent a long time establishing my writing style. I don't expect it to change anytime soon, unless of course I come across something particularly inspiring, which I haven't yet. And Derek liked my poem too, you know. He even told me he was impressed by it. Natsuki suddenly stands up. Oh? I didn't realize you were so invested in trying to impress our new member, Yuri. Eh? That's not what I... You're just... Yuri stands up as well. Maybe you're just jealous that Derek appreciates my advice more than he appreciated yours. Huh? And how do you know he didn't appreciate my advice more? Are you that full of yourself? No. If I was full of myself, I would deliberately go out of my way to make everything I do overly cutesy. Well, you know what? I wasn't the one whose boobs magically grew a size bigger as soon as Derek started showing up. Natsuki? Natsuki, that's a little... This doesn't involve you. I don't know how to... Stop. Taking out your own insecurities on others like that. You're really acting as young as you look, Natsuki. Me? Who's talking? You want to be edgy, bitch? Edgy? Sorry that my lifestyle is too much for someone of your mental age to comprehend. See? It's just saying it proves my point. Most people learn to get over themselves after they graduate middle school, you know. If you want to prove anything, then stop harassing others with your sickening attitude. If you think you can counterbalance your toxic personality just by dressing and acting cute, the only thing cute about you is how hard you try. Whoa, be careful, you might cut yourself on that edge, Yuri. Oh, my bad. You already do, don't you? Did you just accuse me of cutting myself? What the fuck is wrong with your head? Yeah, go on. Let Derek hear everything you really think. I'm sure he'll be head over heels for you after this. Suddenly Yuri turns toward me as if she noticed I was standing here. Derek, she's just trying to make me look bad. That's not true. She started it. Ellipses. How they get dragged? Yuri. I want. It's Monica. Ellipses. Hey Derek, why don't we step outside for a little bit, okay? Sorry about that. They really shouldn't have tried to get you involved. It's probably best for us to stay out of this. We'll go back inside once they're done yelling. Some president I am, right? I can't even confront my own club members properly. I wish I was able to be a little more assertive sometimes. But I never have it in me to put my foot down against others. You understand, right? Anyway, if this makes you want to spend less time with the others, then that's fine. I'd be happy to spend time with you instead. Suddenly, Natsuki runs out of the classroom. Ellipses. She quickly runs away. Oh dear. Well, it looks like they're done. I didn't mean it. Yuri is rocking back and forth in her desk with palms on her forehead. Yuri? I didn't mean it. I believe you. I have no idea what Yuri might have said to Natsuki. Or did. What? I have no idea what Yuri might have said to Natsuki. Or did. Oh, did to Natsuki. Derek? Please don't hate me. Please. I'm not like this. There's something wrong with me today. It's fine, Yuri. We know you didn't mean it. Besides, I'm sure Natsuki will forget all about it by tomorrow. Completely. Ellipses. Anyway, the meeting is over, so you can go home if you want now. Ellipses. Yuri looks at me like she wants me to say something. Like she wants to say something, but she keeps glancing at Monica. You can go first, Monica. I'd like to stay a little bit longer. I'm the president, so I should be the last one out. I'll wait for you to be done. Ellipses. Ellipses. Well, I'm vice president, so please let me take that responsibility for today. It kind of sounds like you don't want me around for something, Yuri. It's not that. It's not that. I didn't get much of a chance to discuss my book with Derek. It would be just be embarrassing with you listening. I guess I don't really have a choice, do I? I'm sorry for causing trouble. But Doug. All right. And we saved and all right. So we're actually set a timer for the next time, but next time on Speletons, more of this totally okay literature club where nothing goes wrong.